Hey, Victor,
Hey, Heidi.
did you know that when you clean a vacuum cleaner, you become a vacuum
These
cleaner?
are just great. These are just great. You know that? Okay, guys. So today's a little bit different today. So I have Heidi Elliot joining me from Washington First Mortgage in Kirkland, Washington. And I asked her to go over USDA loans and the loan product. So Heidi, why don't you just take a quick 30, 45 seconds to go over yourself, give a quick blurb and everything like that. I mean, I know you really well. No one else knows you.
Yeah,
So
love to share about myself a little bit. I'm Heidi Elliot, as Victor mentioned, with Washington First Mortgage here in Kirkland. I've been a mortgage loan originator for about 2.5 years now. I am a mortgage broker, so I broker to multiple lenders, and it's kind of what sets me apart.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Okay, so let's get into your slideshow this time, right? Let's make sure it works. Okay, so let's get into this. And then we get F5 and we don't mess up this time. Okay, so here's your contact information. I got it up for everybody. Again, it's Heidi Elliot, and she's at Washington First Mortgage over in Kirkland. And let's get started with this. Okay, so USDA benefits. So who really, like, what are the benefits to this? Because like specifically, I mean, like, why don't you just go conventional?
Yeah, great question, right? So USDA loans major benefits are it's 100% financing. So $0 down.
Really?
Don't need to bring in that huge 10, 20, maybe 3% down payment. That adds up pretty quickly, right? Another amazing benefit is very competitive rates on this. This is a government-backed loan, so they have insurance and provide lenders with some sort of ultimately stipend just to make sure that if somebody does default on the loan, there's no issues. So in result, that means lower interest rates for the clients.
Okay. What about underwriting or anything like that, or rates?
Yeah. So underwriting guidelines are a lot less stringent than the normal conventional loans. You have to meet certain Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac guidelines and conventional loans. With USDA loan, we run it through what's called GUS, and that one has a little more stringent. They take a bigger picture of the borrower's financial status and kind of determine what they'll approve there, but they're less stringent for sure.
Okay, and then rates are a little bit different too.
Yeah, definitely more competitive rates on this.
Okay. All right, so let's move on to the next one then. So your next one is like your eligibility.
Yes.
Okay, it's broken down on property and buyer, right?
Correct, yeah. So there's two things that we want to make sure that somebody qualifies with. One, the property. So USDA is for rural and suburban counties mainly. So you do have to make sure that the property you're looking at or the area you're looking at is actually considered USDA or eligible for USDA loans. Okay. I have a great website, super easy website directly to the United States Department of Agriculture, where you can go in and test or type in the address and it'll tell you whether that property is eligible or not, or just a general area. Okay,
perfect. And I'll share that with everybody and put it in the description.
Yeah, I will share the link and you guys can easily look at that.
And it has to be a primary, right? No investors?
That is correct. Can't do an investment property or second home. You do have to reside in the residence.
Okay, that kind of brings us into the borrower side.
Correct.
Okay, so the borrower, like, what's a borrower look like even for this?
Yeah, so if so these loans are for low to moderate income borrowers. These aren't people that are making really good income, high income people. This is gonna be for people that have a little less income. And there is actually a limit. So you can't go higher than 115% of the median income for your entire household. So household is the key word there. Yeah. Anybody in your household making income has to report that with a USDA loan. Doesn't matter their age, doesn't matter their relation to you. Roommates, sons, grandmas, grandpas, anybody receiving income has to actually report that and use that to qualify.
That includes Social Security,
pension, yes.
Okay. And FICO score is a little bit lower or higher?
So not quite as low as an FHA loan, but it can go lower than a conventional. So 640 is what we're looking for. If you're a little less than 640, don't count yourself out. That's still something to look at, especially if you have a little more promising income. Okay, perfect. Okay, and U.S. citizen, permanent resident kind of thing? Yeah, U.S. citizen, permanent resident, any status like that, totally fine. Okay, perfect. So let's
Okay, so now that we kind of covered what it is, who benefits from it, like who would use this? So like, do you have anybody in mind that you would recommend this to? Like,
yeah, so this program is, as I mentioned, specifically for those low income to moderate income people looking in those rural to suburban areas.
Okay.
So somebody that's really going to look for this loan is going to be a borrower that may not have a huge down payment or no down payment. Those borrowers also not making quite as much money as some people, and definitely considering to look in a rural area should be good considering a USDA loan as opposed to a conventional. Definitely compare them, but you should definitely be looking at that as an option.
And then I asked you to pick from a couple of different loans. Like, why did you pick this one in particular?
Great question. So I grew up in a very small town out on the coast of Washington called Raymond, Washington. And I grew up helping my dad out on his dairy farm. And so I've been around agriculture from as long as I can remember. And I know a lot of people out there. Growing up, most of those people, a lot of them rented. But there's a lot of these resources, especially this USDA loan program, that can actually get those people into homes. And so I'm here and love to advocate and educate people on this program because it's a great program that the government offers and can definitely be utilized a little more than it is currently.
Okay, and then so how do you want people to get a hold of you? Obviously within working hours, correct? So. Oh,
no, you can contact me anytime. I'm here to answer any questions. My phone number is 206-491-2019. You can also email me at Heidi, HEIDIE at WFMTG.com.
Okay, perfect. And if anybody misses that, I'll put it in the description for you guys also. But
there we go.
Heidi, I want to say thank you very much for working with me today. It's always a pleasure being here with you, and everybody else, please have a pleasant day. Thank you.
Bye, guys.